Hey everyone, this is Gemini, and recently on stream I talked about a couple tips on how to improve your keyboard usage in StarCraft 2. I usually like to make fully edited videos for these types of topics, and I mentioned it on Twitter as well, and a lot of people said that they would just rather me upload them anyway. So here's the video of what I was talking about. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment if you think that these are things that you would like to see more of, even if it's not the fully edited stuff that I usually do. Hopefully you can find something informative from it regardless, but here's the clip. Enjoy. Should I try using the core and more hotkeys? I currently only use 4 hotkeys, 1 to 4. Okay, so I don't like the core. I don't think the core is good. I feel like I feel like the core, like, I'm talking all about like unbinding F2 and like, you know, getting used to using other things. Unbinding F2 is one control group. There's one button. The core is like you're relearning your entire keyboard. I don't think that's worth it. Unless you're firstly starting off and like you don't have like a setup yet. You don't already have something set up with your muscle memory. Then it's okay to learn that, then fine, whatever, do that. But I don't think you should learn the core after you already have something, because it's just so many things that you're relearning that it's not worth it, in my opinion. I feel like it's better just to make it something that works better for you and just learn how to use your hotkeys and learn how to use your hand better. If you're only using 1 to 4, then you need to like take a look at where your hand is sitting and how to actually like optimize what you're doing. If you can only reach 1 to 4, then something is wrong with how you're like positioning your hand and stuff. You want to have it so that way like your hand can like get a full range of motion over the keyboard. And so to be able to use some of these later things, you need to be able to like just kind of be comfortable bouncing back and forth a little bit. It's called like the floating hand, where like you can more comfortably go up and down to like the camera hotkeys, to go over to some of these hotkeys. So that way you're not just stuck at the initial ones over here. A lot of people that do that are used to playing either like FPS or MOBAs, where like they can keep their hand bunched up onto like these left side keys and that's all they have to do. But like StarCraft, you really need to make sure your hand can actually stretch out and it can move. That's something that's super important. And so setting up your hand so that way you can allow yourself to do that. Like I have 1 to 5 as my standard, as my what I spam. Like 5 is my Nexuses, 1 is my main hotkey for army and also for like probe scouting and stuff. So like that already, I have my hand split out, and then my thumb is doing a lot of the bottom stuff here. So that's already doing a lot. The other big thing is using your pinky.
Gemini, you know.
Using your pinky. Use the bottom of your pinky to hit control, and then use like this part to hit shift. So you only have to do like a small curl to do shift, but then use the bottom of your pinky to hit control, so that way you can then use these hands to do this. And then you can what you can do, you can swing your thumb up like this, so that way you can control group things and shift control group things onto the farther ones. Using the bottom of your pinky is so big for control groups because it opens up your hand so much, and it's just so much more comfortable. Having to curl up your pinky all the time to hit control every time is so painful. I used to do that all the time, and then I realized that a lot of Koreans actually use the bottom of their pinky, and I was like, holy crap, this is so much more comfortable. And it opens up your hand so much more to use the keyboard. The thumb thing on the bottom row is also what I learned from Koreans. A lot of times I used to use my pointer finger and just do like this, like BG, to like build. I would do this to build all of my buildings, but then I realized my thumb is sitting here doing nothing, and then I can just do that with my thumb instead. So I can do building BA, BG, BE, BR, you know, whatever. And my thumb is doing all this stuff down here, and it's so much easier to do all that stuff. And then the other thing is being able to actually move your hand, being comfortable floating your hand around the keyboard, so that way you can recall these other ones down here a little bit better, and then also use the camera hotkeys. Yeah, being able to do this is so important for StarCraft. So if you have a hard time only using these keys on the left side, you have to kind of take a look at where your hand and where your hand sits and what you do with your hand to allow you to actually use the other things and break the habit of only using four control groups. Because like, you can do the core or those other things where you can make it so everything is on this left side, and some people do that where they do bind like Q, R, E and stuff like this. They bind these. This is like grid as well, where they bind a lot of this stuff to the left side so they don't really have to move their hand and they can just sit it right here and just do a lot of this. But it's like this is the stuff from Brood War, especially because like in Brood War you couldn't do customized hotkey, so a lot of the StarCraft pros have this habit from Brood War, and like just being able to use your whole keyboard is such a skill in my opinion, and it just opens up a lot.